What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and welcome to another episode of the Blaugrana and Parisian. And of course, I am joined by my co host, PSG Int. You want to say, what's up?
Welcome, Barca boy family.
You know, he's living the good life, guys. He didn't have a game over the weekend, so he's just chilling, waiting for Champions League action while we're out here dog fighting for a La Liga race. So it's different worlds out here, but we'll get into it. I guess we can firstly maybe we could, if you want, we can talk about Barcelona's game against Leganes. I mean, it was pretty much a dog scrap of a game. I know the focus right now is on the Champions League. Did you watch the game? I think you said you watched the last 10 minutes. I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, 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 yeah. My dad was watching the game, so I just jumped on last 10 minutes.
Mm.
So I saw that Inigo tackle. Then I saw
Oh.
you at, at least five tweets about that Inigo tackle. This won us the league. Look at this.
I
Um,
mean, I don't know if you saw the Rafinha tackle in the first half.
yeah. I've seen that too. Yeah,
Yeah, those two, and then the Chesney save at the beginning. It was very similar to the Betis game. Everything I said in the best game was the same thing here. It was a tough match after a big, intense, and happy and important win in the midweek. Flick went fairly strong as well, which looks like to be the correct move. He made the beautiful change at halftime, which I didn't think he was gonna make. It was kind of a very smart change to make. I'm not saying he's not smart, but like us Barca fans always think of different ways and inverted ways to make the team more balanced and more competitive. So I was quite surprised that he went with that change at halftime. But that was a change that I think really dictated and helped the game out. But overall, it's 3 points. We're still pushing for La Liga. Still now 7 games to go with one Clasico in the middle. And again, we'll wait and see. Both Barca and Madrid won, both 1-0 as well.
yeah.
We can talk about Madrid very quickly about the Mbappe red card. Of course, it was only given as a 1 game ban. What do you think
No,
about
no.
that?
First of all, your league is cooked, man. Your league, because out of all the top five leagues, I think a straight red card is 2 to 3 games suspended minimum. Could be above if it's like a really disgusting tackle.
Hmm.
La Liga, I think if you get a red card, it's at least 1 game, and then they take it to like a committee, and then
Yeah,
they vote on it.
yeah. So it's
How
it's
did the
it's
committee vote 1 game?
so it's
Like
one
Mbappe
game.
tried to break
It's
his leg.
it's 1 game that's all based on what the referee says in his report. If the referee says it's an aggressive challenge, or maybe he said a bad word, or he went
So
for a
like in the Bellingham, he
yeah,
also had like a presser
he went
option.
for a clean tackle, but then in the end, he caught the play like Kobarsi against Benfica in the first leg in the round 16. It's a good tackle. He went for the ball, just caught the player,
Yeah,
red
yeah,
card.
yeah.
So that's how they do it in Spain. But I mean, I'm not surprised, man. I tweeted when it happened. They're gonna give him a 1 game ban. Again, you talk about it being fugazi. At the end of the day, the people on the committee, they're all Real Madrid fans, so they don't want Mbappe banned for a considerable period of time. No one is
But
surprised.
I don't know how. I don't know. Like Mbappe didn't even try to go for the ball. Impossible. The ball wasn't even in that direction.
You and I have a brain. Look, in the end, this no one's gonna talk. 2 days from now, no one's gonna talk about this anymore. Everyone's gonna move on and forget about it because at the end of the day, we're all used to it at this point. I mean, Lewandowski touched his nose and gets a 3 game ban. Flick against Betis when the referee pointed for a penalty, he went like this, and he got a 2 game ban. So nobody outside of Real Madrid fans are surprised by this. Even Atletico Madrid, look at Angel Correa. He did that tackle against Getafe. Well, I think he did a tackle and then he scored the referee. So it was kind of a double header. But that tackle alone was going to be a 2 to 3 game ban, plus probably another game or two ban for what he said to the referee. So nobody was surprised in that scenario as well. So it's annoying, but to be honest, I'm quite happy Mbappe is not banned for the Copa del Rey final because I feel like
Yeah, I saw your tweet
yeah,
about that. Yeah.
I hope he was gonna get banned for Bilbao and then the game before Getafe and then play the Copa del Rey because I think Madrid are a better team without one of Vini or Mbappe. So if Mbappe was missing for that game, I think it would have been a much challenging game. I still, of course, am confident that Barcelona will win, but yeah, I mean it's scandalous. But what can you do? There's nothing until the new generation comes in, which hopefully will have a bit more Barca fans. You just have to ride the storm at this point, to
No,
be
no,
honest.
no. It's disgusting. Look, we saw 2 red cards in that game. We saw the Alves one. He's trying to go for the ball and accidentally hits Vinny, in a dangerous area. Red card. But that's like as you mentioned with the Kubarsi one. He's trying to go for the ball. Mbappe is legitimately trying to hurt the player. Because if you watch the game in before, like he made that tackle, he was fighting with players. You know, they were pushing him around, being physical,
Hmm.
and Mbappe just exactly like the Bellingham moment. It's Bellingham not having control over his mouth and then just saying stupid. And here's no corruption,
Online,
corruption.
man, what can you do, man?
Negrera, Negrera,
I mean,
Negrera,
again, they
Negrera.
talk about us being Negrera, and then I look at this shit week in, week out, and I tell them, shove your Negrera up your ass.
Wait, Negrera was until 2017, right?
Yeah, we didn't pay
Maybe they
for.
got a new one. Maybe they since 2018 they got one. They have
I mean, but all their decisions are dictated by the referee. We paid the referee head of refereeing to understand how referees referee games to get favorable decisions during games. They pay the referees to get favorable decisions in game. Well, they don't pay the referees. I think they pay people higher up than the referees, the one who make the final decisions, the CSD courts, the commission of the federation who make the final decisions. They pay them. Or to be honest, they're probably just lucky that they are Real Madrid fans. They're going to be as lenient as they can be. Like PK said, before he retired. 99% of the people in Spain who run Spanish football, period, so first division, second division, third division, the Copa del Rey, the Federation, the women's, they're all Real Madrid fans, and they're open Real Madrid fans. They're not hiding it. In the Premier League, if you're a referee and let's say you're a Newcastle fan, they won't let you referee Newcastle games or Sunderland games. If you're a Man City fan, they won't let you referee Man City and United games because, conflict of interest. Here you can be like, yeah, I'm a Real Madrid fan, a la Madrid. They'll give you they'll give you a Clasico game. Like, I mean, again, we're used to it at this point. That's why when we win the league, it's always that extra sweeter because not only are you fighting a super team, but you're also fighting the institution as well. Like, we win the league this year. This will be one of the best league titles that we've ever won. We've had La Liga up our ass all season about Pau Victor and Deni Olmo, where we've done everything correctly. We have the president of the La Liga coming out and slating the best team in the league and the best team in the history of Spain as well. We of course had the new manager situation as well. The injury we've dealt with. This will be a very very sweet La Liga title if we of course do end up winning it, which I do hope we will. I think it will all be decided probably in just under a month's time in that league Clasico. But of course, it is Champions League week. We're gonna get right into the Champions League talk. Let's talk about the two
well
games.
before that because you were talking about the two La Liga games,
Yeah.
the Balde injury. How do you feel about it?
Um, it's quite annoying. I think because luckily we're already in the semifinal. Hopefully, the second leg tomorrow won't be too much of a worry. Yes, Celta and Mallorca. It's the real down part is him missing the Copa del Rey final. We'll wait and see how Gerard Martin performs over the next few weeks. Maybe Flick will try something different. Maybe he'll give. I still rate Hector for way higher than I do Gerard Martin. We saw Hector for how well he performed last season in big away games as well. I remember his game at the Wanda where we won 3-0. He put in a defensive masterclass in that game at left back. We have this another youngster that's coming through that has the same traits and profile as Baldi. I think his name is Julio Torrens, something like that. He's just coming off the back of an ACL injury, but he's played now recently for Barca Athletic, and he's having blistering pace, a good cross on him as well. So we'll see. I think Flick will probably just ride the storm with Gerard Martin unless he drops an absolute stinker. So not it's a blow, but one that we can survive with. Like with Denny Olmo, the issue is now if players get injured, you miss so many games because we play midweek and the weekend. So if you're out for 2 weeks, you miss 4 games. So it's an annoying blow, but hopefully he'll be back in time for the semifinals of the Champions League.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but chat of Champions League. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the Wednesday games first, or you want to do the tomorrow's game first since they're kind of boring per se.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do
Okay,
that.
let's talk
The
about
calm ones.
let's talk about tomorrow's game. So we'll go off with Barcelona first, 4-0 advantage against Dortmund going to the Signal Iduna Park. Of course, Dortmund played Bayern Munich over the weekend. Got a 2-2 draw in the Der Klassik. Do you think Dortmund will cause issues for Barcelona? Do you think Dortmund can maybe beat Barcelona and not go to the semifinal? I think they'll make the miraculous comeback. How are you seeing it from a neutral and maybe a bit of a Barca hater standpoint?
No. I think both Barca and Dortmund don't really care about this. Both of them care about the league. You want to win the league. You have games coming up. Dortmund will want to get a European spot before the season ends. So I think you both are gonna go into the game like to play football, but it's not a priority. You will treat it like it's a round of 64 in the Copa del Rey. Just get through. Just get through. But you still play good. You still play good. I just don't think you care that much.
Yeah, I just hope that Flick does rotate. In the end, you have a 4-0 advantage, so I would hope that he rotates. And again, like I mentioned to you before we went live, the Dortmund fan base, the Dortmund players, the Dortmund managers aren't really showing signs of making a comeback. They seem very reserved, like, oh, we'll try, we'll see, anything can happen, but we're going to be cautious. I just think if Barcelona survive the first half, we should be fine. I think Flick will go fairly strong because I don't think he wants to risk bottling it per se, but I still think he should make at least 1 to 3 changes from the Gala, like our best starting 11. I see the game being very, very tight. I see Barcelona playing, a fairly balanced game. I don't think we should park the bus. I don't think we will park the bus. I don't think we'll go, high line, all out attack. I don't think we should as well. I think we'll play a fairly balanced affair. Again, Dortmund have to go for it. They're 4 goals down, so hopefully YLR can get some goals on the counterattack, especially. We'll see how Kovac lines up. He, of course, played a 4 at the back against us in the first leg last week. Then he played a 3 at the back against Bayern Munich, so he has different systems to tweak with. As long as we have a clean sheet, I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet in this game, but as long as we have a clean sheet going into halftime, I think I'll be quite sound.
Would you start the best team and then sub them out, or start a rotation and then bring on the Rafinhas, the Amans, and so on?
I would start with maybe 1 or 2 changes. So maybe I think a change I would make personally is to start Gavi instead of Fermin in the 10 because Gavi has that intensity, that pressure, that tenacity that we can use to defend and help in attack and transition as well. He'll be playing, helping the defensive phase of the play as well, which would be nice. I would start Arujo as well because at the end of the day he's probably gonna come on in this game. He's again on the ball. He's not that great as we saw against Leganes, but in a game like this where you're defending a 4-0 lead, he's one of our best, if not our best, only one defenders. And if you start him alongside Kubarsi, Kubarsi could be the one that dictates the play and passes the ball
Yeah.
through the lines and out of the back. Those would be the 2 changes that I would make. And then, of course, like you mentioned, once second half comes in, hour passes and it's still 0-0, they haven't
Mm-hmm.
scored. That's where you can make some changes. I don't mind losing this game. I would love to keep our 2025 unbeaten run going. But if we lose this game and we have rotation and players come out injury free, I'll take it as long as we have that spot in the semifinal. By the end of the 9 minutes, that's all that really matters to me. But I don't want to lose 3-0 or 2-0 or give them any chance because the stadium's gonna go crazy if they get that goal, especially in the first half if they score first. I would love for us to score first, kill the vibe, kill the mood, go into halftime like 1-0. I've seen the stat that Barcelona this season have scored a goal in the first half of every game except for the Benfica game, round 16 where we won 1-0. Rafinha scored, of course. Um, Later in the second half. Of course, against Leganes on the weekend, we didn't score in the first half, but 9.9 times out of 10, we do score goals in the first half. We didn't score the first half of the when we played them in the group stages, though. It was 0-0, it was 0-0 at halftime. So if we can get a goal in the first half, really shut them down, absolutely kill their hopes fully, that would be nice. But at the end of the day, I think we're pretty good in regards to being into the next round.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No chance. No chance.
A tighter
I mean,
game. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, if Dortmund pulled it off, it would be greater than Remontada.
Um,
It's exactly same like score margin. You at least get 1 goal. They got to score 6,
if they do a
and
six,
Dortmund are worse than us.
if they do a 6-1, then will it be better than Remontada? I guess it depends on how. Like we had to score, of course, 2 goals. We'd scored like 3 goals in the last
Oh,
four
in the
minutes,
last
right?
5. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably though, it'd probably be second for sure. So we'll see, we'll see. I think a closer game is, of course, your game, Villa Park, PSG,
Not
Villa.
close.
PSG going in with a 3-1 lead, so only 2 goals. Villa only have to score half the goals that Dortmund have to score. What's the mood and vibe from your perspective? Of course, no league game. You, of course, run Ligue 1. So you had to cancel your game midweek in the weekend to have a full rest. And you tell me it's not. You tell me it's a serious league, but what are your thoughts on the second leg from your perspective?
Training session. No, it's just gonna be a game where we can, have fun, score goals. We don't have to defend the best. And Villa, I mean, shout out to Villa. Look, this is a historic season for Aston Villa, reaching the Champions League quarterfinals. Not many teams from the Premier League have done this, so they should be happy they've come to this stage. But come on, I don't. I think it will be an entertaining game to watch. because we will score a lot of goals.
Fair. So you give Villa no chance?
Yeah, time was over when the draw was made. Time was over when the draw was made.
So a nice Villa comeback will be very, very humbling. I mean, to be honest, um, I wish this was played after the Madrid Arsenal game. Because if Arsenal hold it, I'd rather they play Villa so we have an easy Champions League final. But if Madrid go through, I'd rather you go through because you're the harder team. The story arc would be sick. So I think Arsenal, the UCL finals right now are looking quite not exciting, but not boring. Kind of looking like mid. But I don't know, man. I think Villa are only 2 goals, right? 2 goals can happen so quickly in football. People say that a 2 goal difference is the most dangerous score line in football, not even a 1 goal. If they get that goal in the first half, they go in the halftime 1-0 leading. I think anything can happen. So I think like I said about Barcelona, if we keep a clean sheet at halftime, we're fine. That's because it's 4 goals in the second half. But Villa, I think up until like the 80th minute, can score 2 goals in quick succession because that's how dangerous. I think if you score a goal at any point, that's probably the tie over. Because again, you're playing away from home. That'll kill the fans. It'll kill the momentum. Kill the vibes as well. So as long as you keep a clean sheet too, you should be okay. But then again, if they get that first goal, especially that first 15 minutes, uh, you might be on the ropes, man. You might be on the ropes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's,
Look, they parked the most satanic bus I've seen in the first leg. It was 0-0, they parked the bus. They were 1-0 up, they parked the bus. 1-1 parked the bus. 2-1 down, parked the bus. They were always parking the bus, and we still scored 3. This time they have to open up. And yeah.
So you think with them
It,
being
it,
opening up, you'll have more vulnerable opportunities to obtain on the break?
yeah, we'll get at least 2 goals first half.
At least the confidence is
No,
crazy.
that's the thing. Like, you are through. You are 100% through, and that's why I agree with you. We are not 100% through yet. That's why we got to go there and win, and actually have like you just have to go there and not lose. Basically, we have to go there and win. Plus, it's Aston Villa have faith. I want to break that. Like, as you said, Dortmund plays. I've seen Unai Emery. He's like, gonna take it to Villa Park. Got fans on our side. Come on, man.
Hey man, I think I would put it like right now like 60% P should go through. You probably have it not based on your quality and stuff, but just based on the fact that the opportunity is there for Villa. It's possible. And once they get you and I have seen so many comebacks over the past 7 years in Champions League, whether it's Madrid, Barcelona, whoever. Once they get that, and again, 2 goals is definitely plausible. It's definitely possible. It's been done so many times, and they get that goal early on, you might be on the ropes.
Please have our game on the side, please.
If
Because you
we're
would turn it off. You turn it after 30 minutes, but oh my god, then booze again. Okay, it's over.
if we go into halftime 0-0, I probably will actually pop your game on. If your game is like 0-0 as well, then there's still something to be in it. But again, like you mentioned back in the beginning of the season, this Barca PSG final is still on, and everyone I've seen a lot of people now finally saying that Barca PSG final would be the best final in the Champions League in recent
Yep,
times. It's the 2 best teams in the world. Like you've mentioned, we never had the 2 best teams in the world playing the Champions League final since
yep,
I don't even know when. Maybe Barca Juventus. I think Juventus were a very good team back then. They of course beat Madrid as well. Maybe those were the 2 best teams in the world.
yeah. Uh,
Maybe Bayern PSG in COVID. Those are probably the 2 best teams as well,
okay,
potentially.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a rarity nowadays in football, but
Yeah, plus all the narratives that it has. The Yamals, the Dembele against Barca,
you're doing
Flick
it's,
versus PSG, Lucha versus Barca. I mean,
it's more just the arc from last season's quarterfinal.
yeah. Second
Yeah.
chapter. Wait, have you seen like the Champions League stats between PSG and Barca?
Yeah, it's like bang even, isn't it? Like same goal score.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
five wins each, 4 draws, 27 goals. Like, this is a final to
Yeah, the
determine it.
final to whoever takes the advantage. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it more when we reach that point. But go
Who
ahead.
do you think will have it tougher? You versus Arsenal, or you versus Inter, or us versus Arsenal?
Um, I really think us versus Inter because I think Inter's football is probably the only way that only kind of style that can beat Barcelona. Sitting back, soaking up pressure, overloading the midfield, hitting you on breaks as well. The reason why we don't see teams beat Barcelona often is because they always play pragmatic. They either do all out attack like Madrid does, or they'll just sit back and soak it all up like Leganes did last weekend. When Inter play a more balanced team, especially with their system, how they will have naturally at least 4 or 5 players back. They have
Yeah.
more midfielders in the midfield than we will have. Of course, they'll be more lighter up front, but they can easily hit on the break with two world class strikers in Thuram and Lautaro. That's why I really hope that Bayern Munich has got something for me in the locker. I think Bayern Munich is a way more open game.
Yeah.
Again, second leg will be at whoever's stadium away. We'll have away second leg again. So Inter or Bayern will have the second leg at their stadium. So we'll have to again do what we did against Dortmund, get the job done early on. But I think in that kind of game, we won't. It won't be like a thumping. Maybe we can win the first leg like a 2-1, 2-0, like have an advantage. So we don't have to. A draw would be enough for us to go through kind of point. But
Mm.
we'll see. But let's talk about the Wednesday's game. Let's talk about the first one. Inter Bayern. Of course, Inter have a 2-1 advantage. Again, very, very tight. One goal in it. Anything can happen at the San Siro. Bayern Munich again coming off the 2-2 draw in their classic. I think Inter won 3-1 against somebody, Sampdoria or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
How did you see that game go through? Of course, everyone had Inter as the favorites going into it, especially with the injuries that Bayern Munich recently had before that first leg. Do you see anything different?
Yeah. So I watched the first game. Bayern were a better team. It was just they missed so many chances. You've probably seen the Kane miss
Yeah.
when you hit the post. Disgusting, filthy. Should be benched after a miss like that. So I think the game is still open. It just did you see Inter's both goals?
Yes,
Uh,
the first one was really well, where the second one was just kind of, a Fugazi counter. And Dyer, the back of that second goal, defended so poorly. But the first goal, I mean, the finish from Lautaro was crazy, and the build up for that goal
yeah.
was pretty good as well.
So, but I have to give it to Inter. I think it's too big of a mountain to climb. But Bayern will still give it a test. That's why I'm predicting a draw in that game, like a
Yeah,
2-2.
I think it's gonna be like a 0-0, honestly.
No, no, okay.
Yeah, I think this Inter will just soak it all up, defend for their lives like they did in that game for the majority of it after they got that one goal. Then of course Bayern broke them down later on. It's probably the most open game of the tie. But Bayern Munich having low confidence, having players out injured as well. Do you give them a chance?
Yeah, I give them like 30%. They still manageable because they were really good in that first leg, despite all the injuries. It was just they couldn't take their chances. And if this time they can take their chances, it's going to be a different game. But Inter is at least scoring one goal. So Bayern have to score at least two.
This maybe I think this will either be like a 0-0 or maybe Bayern nick it and then maybe it goes all the way to penalties. I just think it's gonna be a very very low scoring game. Especially against a team like Inter and a team that's open like Bayern that will be way way more open on in transition where Inter won't be. Like Bayern will have to actually work for the goal, whereas Inter can easily catch Bayern out with a mistake or two. Um, so that's how I really see it, and that's why again I'd rather play Bayern uh, than than Inter.
Inter.
Yeah. But of course, the most intense tie is one that I think you and I will be hate watching for. It's Arsenal against Madrid. Of course, Arsenal with a 3-0 advantage after the first leg. Simple question: Will Madrid do a comeback?
I I think I'm going to support a comeback in this game, honestly.
Well, how about you? Wait for your game to happen first, then decide. Because you get
Okay.
knocked out. You don't want
Oh,
Madrid going
and
for.
Boobies, CL? No, no.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I think it's going to be. No, no, no. I think you remember when they played Dortmund in 12-13?
Yeah.
Madrid?
Everyone's bringing that up.
Dortmund snapped them. Then Madrid nearly made a comeback. I think that's going to happen. Madrid are nearly going to make a comeback. Like a 3-1.
I saw a stat that Arsenal have never conceded more than 3 goals in their last 78 games. So in their last 78 games, they've never conceded more than 2 goals. They've conceded two, one, and of course kept clean sheets. They haven't conceded three in like the last 78 games or something crazy like that. Actually, let me see if I can get the exact number
Yeah,
up.
but in those 70 games, how many times have they played Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu in a Champions League second leg.
79 matches. Well, I mean, true, but they're playing top teams. They're playing the top teams in the Premier League more than once on different occasions. So that is something. I'm gonna keep it real with you and keep it real with everyone watching. I think Madrid are gonna make a comeback. I think they'll win this game. I think they'll win this game like 4-0. I really do. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. But
4-0.
yeah, like you said, it's second leg Bernabeu. And I think more so, the two factors for me are one, Madrid fans and players and media being confident we're gonna do it, come back, talking about anything is possible. Like I told you about Dortmund, they're not saying anything, but Madrid are hyping themselves up. And also the history of Arsenal. The history of Arsenal. They just bottle everything all the time. I think those two are the main factors. Take away the style of play, the players, systems, and tactics. I think those two are the main reasons. Madrid being confident and Arsenal having a history of choking in every single scenario they're in. I hope that Arsenal do win. I don't care if I'd love to watch PSG Madrid over 2 legs, but I ain't taking no risks. I ain't relying on you. If Arsenal can do it, let Arsenal do it. I think again Arsenal have one of the best defenses in the world. I think like again clean sheets is going to be the whole talk of the town in regards to these second leg games. But if they can hold on till halftime, that's for me will be a big play. If Madrid score at any point in the first half, even one goal, one or more goal, that's it done for me. I think Ceballos came out saying after the Alaves game that first 15 minutes is going to be crucial. We get a goal or two in that first 15 minutes, we're definitely making the comeback. And he's right because Arsenal will bottle it. But do you give Madrid any chance?
Yeah, I give them 10%.
10% only? That is
Yeah, I don't think it's that likely. 'Cause I see Arsenal scoring at least one.
I don't think Arsenal are gonna go in the Bernabeu. Look at their goals against Madrid. Two dead set pieces, then a counter attack. Like they weren't like it's just the goals that went in were crazy, right? The two world class free kicks from Declan Rice, a great
Yep.
finish from Marino top of the box. That's why everyone went crazy. Like, oh my god, they beat them 3-0. Look at the game. Look at the first half. Mbappe, Vinicius had two big chances. They could have went 1-0 up or 2-0 up at those point. I just think Arsenal got I don't think very lucky, but they got lucky in the end. Like scoring set pieces all comes down to individual brilliance. Look at Messi against Liverpool as well. That free kick that gave us an advantage in the end meant nothing, unfortunately. But scoring free kicks and counterattacks for me doesn't dictate who's the better team. I just hope that Arteta just coaches a 0-0, just a defensive masterclass.
But straight after Madrid were lost 3-0, did you think, yeah, they're gonna make a comeback? Or has your mind changed until
So
now?
when it was 2-0 after Rice scored both free kicks, I said they were gonna come back for sure. Once Mourinho scored, I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be an uphill battle, but it's still possible.
And I
But
saw a Madrid fan talk about it on YouTube. He said that if we do make the comeback, it's gonna be greater than remontada.
it's not. It's not. If they were 4-0 down, sure. I mean,
You know that Madrid fans will push that.
there's why does everyone call a comeback remontada? Because we did it. Because we invented it. So they can think what they want. If they make a comeback from 4 or 5-0, then sure, I'll pass the mantle down. But at the end of the day, until they do something as big as remontada, being close to making the comeback, Cavani scoring, away goals being in effect as well, which nobody talks about. We
Yeah.
basically did 2 comebacks in one game, essentially. So there's a reason why they call it the remontadas because of us. So I am scared though, man. I do think Madrid are gonna do it. So that's why I need you to beat Villa.
You actually think Madrid are gonna do it? I don't think they're man. This is cheating. This would okay,
Look,
okay, let's what's the bad stuff that happens? So is there a red card? Is there a
uh,
penalty?
so the referee is that French guy Luxier, who's actually quite decent. So hopefully he's not in the back pocket of Madrid. I just think, like I said, Arsenal will ball it. Individual mistake, maybe a misplaced pass by Kivior or Mbappe comes and scores on open net. Like they're gonna get in every comeback you see. There's always fugaziness. Look at Barcelona as well. We had a free kick, we had a penalty. You didn't think the second one was a penalty. That's a different story for a different time. The Iniesta goal, huge deflection off Kurzawa. like all these things all dropped in the favor of Barcelona. You know, again, the Di Maria penalty, which was a clear penalty by Mascherano, the one in the second half, not the first half one. So everything has to go your way. So it's gonna be pure fugaziness from Madrid. But I just think that it'll be mainly because Arsenal ball it in the end is what I'm more
So
worried
wait,
about.
if we beat Madrid then at the back 3-0, then went to Bernabeu, would you say the same thing?
Yes, because you also balled it against Madrid before too.
You think we bottled a 3-0 lead versus Madrid?
Maybe not you. Maybe not. Maybe not because you're a better team and you don't have a history of balling it. So maybe
No, we
not.
do. We do have a history of
But
bottling it.
not like emphatic balling like what Arsenal are used to and known for. But
No, but this would be a satanic run then. Playing that dead city side, Fugazi versus Atletico Madrid, historical. Well, I need look for me. I hate Madrid, but I don't really care about Madrid. So if I hope for like Vinny masterclass then, like Rudiger disgusting goal, even a Jude Bellingham, just not Mbappe. Because you remember Mbappe was not rated. He had that City game. Everyone was like, Mbappe's back. Mbappe even himself said the adaptation period is over, and now he's back to stinking up.
I mean, if
So
you
no,
really deep Mbappe's season with Madrid, he had a good January and February. That was it. March he's been
even
terrible.
that January, yeah, he was good versus you. That's true.
Yeah, he scored against us. He scored some league goals. He got back in the run for the Petrucci in that January February time. He scored like a goal and a brace in basically every single game. So that those 2 months he was great. But March and April and August, September, October, November, December, he's been mid slash terrible. So again, like I mentioned, I think Madrid are a worse team with both Mbappe and Vinicius in the same team. Um, Maybe because I've seen Madrid make comebacks already this season at home against other teams like Sociedad and Leganes, who are of course not the best teams in the world.
Dortmund.
Dortmund. So I'm just more worried about Arsenal's mentality. They've never been in this situation before. The whole entire team is new to kind of Champions League football. Madrid are not. They're the reigning champions. Everyone in that team has a Champions League trophy, barring Mbappe. So I hope I'm wrong. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's. Maybe I'm just saying. Maybe I'm just saying comebacks. So if it happens, I can say I'm right, and it's more ease, and I can. I don't mind being wrong because Madrid are out. But I genuinely do think that Madrid will win the game like 4-0. Unfortunately, but yeah,
It
man,
would be magical. It would be that semifinal would be magical then. Be magical.
it would be. It would be. That's why. That's why I need you not to ball it against Villa. Because if you ball against Villa, then Madrid have Villa in the semifinals. I will shoot myself. Because that's just because if they think about it, like especially, oh my god, imagine if Villa knock you out. Villa knock you out, but you're like, oh, we beat Arsenal. We're basically in the final. We come back. That's going to give them even more motivation, man. Oh my god. Because if they see PSG, they're like, all right, PSG is a good team. That's going to be a hard tie. So if we lose against Arsenal, that's not the end of the world. We're probably going to lose against PSG. Imagine Villa do it and that would get me even more hype. That was again like what we had last season with you guys in the quarterfinal. Like, oh my god, we beat PSG. We're basically in the final because we can handle Dortmund over 2 legs for sure. I think the second leg was at the park, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So second leg at Montjuic, it's the same kind of parameters too. So hopefully you winning doesn't give them too much hype. But I'm not trying to glaze Madrid, and again, this is not really a Madrid prop. It's more so of an Arsenal prop in the sense that I don't rate Arsenal that highly.
What, what if Arsenal beat Madrid 2-0?
If they win 2-0,
Yeah,
oh, I
yeah,
would
yeah.
love that, man. That would be generational. I didn't now hopefully cement. I For me, Madrid getting knocked out is a big advantage for me a little bit because of course they have the league games coming up, the Copa del Rey final. The mentality will be low. Um, a lot of people are saying that Madrid get knocked out, they can just focus on La Liga and the Copa del Rey. Again with Barcelona, they're like, Barcelona has more games. We only have 2 more games, 2 Champions League semifinals. The rest of the games are all the same. We both play in the Copa del Rey final. We both have 7 league games left. There's only 2 extra game, and by then, I think actually for the semifinal, we'll have semifinal midweek, Classico on the weekend, second leg semifinal. So that week is gonna be is going to be huge. So maybe that in sense, maybe they can maybe nick a result in the League Clasico with us having three high intense, huge games. But I don't think
Yeah.
them being knocked out will benefit them in terms of fitness levels and stuff like that. But I would love them to get knocked out, drop their morales down quite high. They have Bilbao on the weekend. Again, Bilbao are a good team. They're the fourth best team in Spain, but they don't do really well away against the top teams. But maybe in that game they can nick something. Then they have Getafe, terroristic football. Then they have the Copa del Rey final. So we can just absolutely kill them mentally ahead of the League Clasico if Arsenal do go on and knock them out. Even Arsenal can just knock them out. It doesn't have to be a 2-0 win. Even if they lose 2-0, just as long as you knock them out, that's all that really matters. And that's all I really need. So I hope and pray that Arsenal do it, but I don't know, man. I'm not that optimistic, unfortunately.
Oh. Oh. What? Yeah, but I'm sticking with my prediction. Then is Madrid will come close to a comeback, but just not enough.
Like a 2
So
0
they get some pride back. 3-1. I think Arsenal will score.
You think you think Arsenal will score? You think Arsenal will score like after Madrid score? Or you think Arsenal will score first, then Madrid maybe get two or three back?
No, no, that's the thing. Because Arsenal don't play football. They play set pieces. They will get just a corner. I don't know, a random minute, and then score from it. Just a boring goal. It would be like you remember when Lorente scored that corner versus City.
Lorente from Atletico.
No, the striker at Spurs. You remember that Spurs City game, the crazy game in the UCL, like four
Oh
three.
yes, yes.
Lorente scored after. I think it would be like. I think Madrid will have good momentum. They will control the game.
Oh okay,
Be
okay.
like 2-0. The Arsenal get a corner. Madrid then score. Keep on pushing, just not enough. So something like they're not scoring first. It's gonna be Madrid domination and then just one fluke for Gaze.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. So you and I both agree that the semifinals will be PSG, Arsenal slash Madrid, and then Barca Inter.
Yeah. Barca Inter. That's the one. Yeah.
I'll say this, man. Like, I think once Barcelona get the Champions League final, I don't think we'll lose it. Like I said to you, we the only finals I've seen Barcelona lose are two to Madrid and then one against Valencia, only because we had Anfield 2 days before that. I think the team was just completely drained and down mentally. So, of course, Bilbao in the Super Cup too, but those all had uh, asterisks and implications to it. I've never seen Barcelona lose a big final before, so
Are you ready?
I are you ready to lose two Champions League finals?
No,
As
that's the
that.
thing. I've already gone through it, losing a Champions League final. It wouldn't hurt me as much
Mhm.
losing one now. I would actually go in with nothing to lose. Like I'm very happy where my team is. We're in the Champions League final. We'd have gone unbeaten in the league. We'd win the Coupe de France final right before that. My expectations heading into the season was just do like last season. So win everything domestically and reach the Champions League semifinal. So technically, I'm happy with this season.
I mean, same thing for me. I said win one trophy. We're on for the quadruple. So, I mean, I'm as happy as you can be too. Again, like I mentioned, if we lose a Champions League final to PSG in a good game and the better team won, I wouldn't be disappointed. I would be disappointed, but wouldn't be the end of the world. It wouldn't send me into depression. But losing
Yeah.
a classical final, I would probably quit YouTube. Honestly, I would not return whatsoever. But hopefully that's not the case. Someone here made a good comment, and I wanted to talk to you about it since you have history on this player, and a lot of people, Madrid players are mentioning this about Mbappe having a legacy game. Like this is the moment for Mbappe to step up and do it. I know that you're very adamant that Mbappe is not really a big game player in the sense that when you rely upon him and you want to step up, he tends not to deliver. So do you see him having a stinker in this game? You think he will step up to the occasion based on your knowledge of
Um,
Kylian?
Mbappe can occasionally have that leg. It was basically that 2 year period. So his biggest legacy game, I would say, in the PSG shirt was when we played you guys. Because he was in terrible form. He was very bad for like, I think he had only scored one goal in the previous year in the Champions League, like in one entire year, only one goal or something. Then we faced Barca, Neymar injured, Di Maria injured. That was a legacy game for Mbappe. And in that season, and then the season after, he was cooking. But apart from that, he always stinks when the team needs him the most. He always stinks. Like there's a higher probability Vinny like gets them back into the game than Mbappe. And Mbappe is that he's unclutch. The opposite of clutch. He's just disgusting, man. Disgusting.
Hopefully, a sticker from him would kill any momentum he has going forward. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but hopefully the Champions League will go our way. Of course, we have weekend games as well. We have Celta Vigo at home. Early kickoff. You have Le Havre, I think it is.
Okay.
Of course, your objective now pretty much is just to go unbeaten in the league. You've already won the title, obviously. Do you think you will go unbeaten? Do you think that's still a possibility? I know you're still waiting for that one Strasbourg game away from home, but do you think maybe the
Mm.
team will be on a high after beating Villa and stuff like that, as you know
I
we've seen other teams do over the past few years?
like for the Champions League, I can say, yeah, I think we'll win the Champions League this season. Unbeaten, yeah, I think we'll go, but I can't say yes, we will go. I just take a game at a time because the only one I bring up to my example is always your guys in 17, 18, Barca. I always look at that one like you were comfortable. And I'm mentioning the Strasbourg game because that's the toughest game, but we're probably just going to win that game. It's probably going to be like a garbage team. We don't expect anything. And then they're 1-0 up at halftime, defending for their lives in the second. So I just take it one game at a time. But it would be a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it would be for sure. I think nobody in Spain has done it. I think only Italian team, Juventus did it, Arsenal did it, Bayern Leverkusen of course did it last season. So
Yeah.
you joined that exclusive group. For Barca against Celta, I mean Celta, we tend to always do well against them at home. It's always just away from home that we struggle at their stadium. They're a good team still. Iago Aspas came out saying after they lost 2-0 to Espanyol over the weekend, Espanyol just parked the bus and counterattacked. He came out afterwards saying that, oh, I hate playing teams that park the bus. I love playing, open games like against Barca and Madrid. So I'm like, fucking hell, man, this guy's about to come and terrorize us. But the league games are as important as this Dortmund game midweek. So Flick really needs to manage the squad correctly and make the correct rotation and adjustments to hopefully allow us to win both. Again, we did have a tough game this weekend too, so anything can happen per se. So we will see. All right, I guess that's pretty much it. Unless you want to add anything else, I think we've covered everything. We could talk about maybe the Ballon d'Or race a little bit. I've seen a new score 90 graphic that put I think Rafa.
Hey, I have just one question.
Yeah.
Is Dembele finally in top five? Or they still
Let me
have
pull
him like
let me pull up the
the
graphic.
members?
Let me pull up the graphic. I think what I
Yeah, they
saw
don't have
was
him in top five. They don't have him in top five. Then.
I think they do have him in top five.
Please, please,
Uh,
please. Like a month ago, they still had Vinny in the top five for some reason.
yeah. They actually don't even have the list. They only tweeted Rafinha and Lamine
Oh
Yamal.
yeah, Rafinha. Yeah, okay,
The
I've
two
seen that
current
one. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Lamine Yamal and Rafinha
Disgusting.
are the two favorites right
Disgusting.
now. It is not disgusting. I've been telling you since January that
Yamal
Lamine
second,
Yamal
man.
is the best player in the world.
Yamal second,
I'm
man.
seeing some ESPN. Remember the ESPN? How they're just completely idiots. One of the guys, the one that's English, he said that he thinks Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world. I'm like, oh, a little bit of ball knowledge there. Every
Astaghfirullah, man.
what is
Lying
Astaghfirullah?
blatantly on TV, man.
Oh my god, man, your agenda is just crazy. I mean,
Best player in the world.
every Barca fan now is coming out basically saying that if the Ballon d'Or goes to the best player in the world, it goes to Lamine Yamal. Rafinha will win it for his consistency, for his GA, for his big moments, but everyone and their mothers know that Rafinha is not the best player in this team. He's not the best player in this team. He's not the best. He's not the most important player for
Okay.
this team. He's not the most consistent player
No,
in
I
this
think
team.
he's the most important, especially in Champions League. He's your most important player in Champions
Maybe
League.
I talk about moments. I'm talking about system, style of play, and approach to game. I still think Lamine
Okay,
is the best. But you want to talk about big moments and arriving for sure. I mean his record in the
okay, but
Champions
you
League is
think
crazy.
Yamal is better than Dembele?
This season, yes, because when Lamel was cooking in September,
No,
October, November, Dembele was having fights with Luis
no,
Enrique.
no. You can't say it. Not better than
It's
Dembele,
the same
man.
thing with the Desiree Adoué for the Golden Boy. Kubarsi's been playing as the top two center backs in the world from August until now, and Doué comes off the bench for 2 months, and everyone thinks he's the next thing since
Yeah,
sliced
but
bread.
what
He's
Due is doing is better than what Kubarsi was doing. Like
no.
Due is scoring a 30-yard screamer
Well,
to
why is Kubarsi gonna take a
help us
30-yard
win the
screamer
game.
from?
Okay. What can Kubarsi do that's the equivalent of that moment? Maybe have a huge assist.
Huge assist, huge tackle, maybe even a huge goal from a corner. I mean, he scored against Atletico in the cup. That was his first goal for Barcelona. Rafinha kind of robbed him of his other goal. But when you compare, you can't compare a striker to an attacker. I think at that point you have to look at team performance, team impact as well, how they influence the game. Of course, Doué, like I told you, one of the best talents in the world. He's now a starter for PSG, but he's only become a starter recently. I don't know if Barcola
No,
dropped
he
up.
became a starter in November. That's November, December, January, April, and March. Like he's been a starter for more this season than less.
But the problem is that Barcola also during that time was performing well, so he had competition, and of course Kivicia came in as well. Now we're seeing that it's Doué, Dembus, and Cavada as kind of your front three. That's of course all roaming and stuff, very similar to Barcelona.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it was Barcola, Cavada, and Dembele, especially for January when you guys were fighting for the your Coupe de Trophy, the Coupe de Monde, or whatever that was, that you won against Monaco, 1-0. And Dewey was basically having a bench role. I think the only game that he started that I remember was the Arsenal game, but that was only because Dembele wasn't in the team. Of course, I'm talking about taking away the last 2 months. Whereas Kubarsi, he has one of the most highest minutes for Barcelona this season, the most consistent performer as well. And I think alongside Pedri and Yamal, he's one of the most important players for the team as
Yeah, but
well.
it, yeah, but it's like when Messi won the World Cup. He won it for a 7 game tournament in a 70 game season because of what he did. The moments there is bigger than I don't know all of Haaland's stat pad goals in the Premier League that season. I think it's the same thing here. Yes, do it. Maybe you could say he's done it for a shorter time, but he's had way higher peaks. Like he can potentially help PSG win the Champions League by his goals, by his impact.
I
I
think
think that will carry on. Like what you do now is more important than what you did in the group stage.
I think the Champions League
But
will be the decider. I think if you win it, Dewey will take it. I think if Barca win, then
ooh,
Kubarsi should
like a
take it.
double, yeah,
I think I think
Golden Boy and Ballon d'Or
I think it's come to that point, right? That
could be.
when you're just I'm saying about longevity, you're talking about impacts. We're at a point now where we need something to decide it. So a Champions League for either team, I think, would push it over the edge, probably for both the Ballon d'Or
And the
and the Golden
Nations
Boy.
League as well. They face each other for, like Escobar is a starter. Dua could maybe be a starter for that semifinal.
Like I told you, I think if one of us wins the treble or quadruple, I think the summer tournaments will be irrelevant, whether it's Nation Leagues or Club World Cup. I think only if one of us don't win the Champions League or the quadruple will that be a factor. Let's say, for example, God forbid Arsenal wins the Champions League, because that'll be a problem in its own. Then you can look at the Club World Cup Nation League, or maybe Inter as well as a good example. Because I know Arsenal are not in the Club World Cup. I think
No.
Inter are.
Yeah, I think Inter and Juve are. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can have, if Inter maybe win the Champions League, Serie A, and Club World Cup, we look at one of their players. But I don't think the summer tournaments will have that much effect. What is the Nation League? Is that in July after the Club World Cup
No, the Nations League is right after the season ends,
for 10
right
days?
before the Club World Cup.
Oh, god damn
I think it's
it.
7th of June, 7th of June, 10th of June.
They're rinsing these players, man.
Champions
Holy.
League final, I think, is the 1st of May,
It's 31st, yeah.
31st of May. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and then 1 week, then it's Nation League semifinal, and then 1 week Club World Cup starts.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, like I said, I think we're at a close point now for maybe Ballon d'Or and Golden Boy, where it will be decided by team accolades now. I think the performances are both very even
I know, but
at
have you
this point.
seen the Duet PR? Like, I don't
It's
like
it's
excessive
increasing.
PR. Duet's insane PR. I'm seeing everyone. There's a guy, he does comps on PSG players. Whenever
Hmm.
he does one on Duet, it gets insane amount. Like, I think he has Zionistic PR. Like, it's too
Which
much,
is
man.
good for you. I mean, I think people just
No,
love.
I don't like when it gets exaggerated. Like, I'm hearing like Nick's Neymar and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. A lot of people
I
comparing
know
it,
he
best
looks like
dribbler.
him,
People saying he's
but
the best dribbler, best ball controller since Neymar. Um, but I mean, PR is PR, so you gotta take what you can get. But I think Dewey is definitely a top talent. So
better than Yamal.
no,
Like in this last 10 games.
no. Is Dewey the most important player and the star player at PSG?
No, no,
Halas. There you go.
no. But honestly, in the last like 10 games, he's been like there's some games he's better than Dembele and Kvara, which is
But when PSG have advertisements and sponsorship, is he the first name on the picture?
No, no, no.
It was gonna be worse for you when Yamal gets number 10 next season. It might
So,
send you he
yeah.
might send you to a different stratosphere.
No, no. You know what? Yamal, what he gets for next season as well? That insane wage, which I will use like to.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that, to be honest. I've been saying in a lot of my videos that he deserves it, but I don't think he should be getting it at this age,
Yeah,
this
you
quickly.
give too much too soon. Yeah, exactly.
It says that he'll be one of the highest paid players. He won't be the highest paid players. I think he'll be on like 200.
300.
No, like 200, 250. 300 is I think where Idaho is.
No, look, his agent is Jorge
Jorge
Mendes,
Mendes.
right?
Yeah.
Jorge Mendes. Do you know what he got for Warren? Warren, I think he's on 270. So if he got Warren
No,
270,
but
he's getting
PSG,
Yamal at
but PSG don't have
350.
FFP. PSG have money.
We have FFP.
I
I
mean,
think you pay higher wages than us, like accumulate, because you have like some old players, I think, or maybe nearly the same.
I don't think so, unless the numbers that you're seeing aren't true. I can correct you, but it shouldn't be.
Okay, annual salary no, total annual payroll 200 million,
For Barcelona,
and
yeah,
us 196. So basically, we have the same wage. No, I think he's getting at least
and we have
350.
we have bigger players too, like players in their prime and such. But Dembele, when he gets that
Yeah,
new contract, will.
Nebel.
Yeah, when Dembele gets
Yeah,
his new
exactly.
contract, he'll increase. Barcola as well when he gets his new deal. Um, Again, a lot of our
But
players are in their prime. Frankie is gonna get a new deal. Rafa will get a new deal in the summer. Kundi's on a new deal as well.
I've heard De Jong is reduced, right?
It probably will be, yeah. Ansu, of course, he's on 200. He's going to be leaving in the summer, so that will reduce the wage
Yeah.
bill quite a bit, too. So I think Lemy will get around 200, 250 because, again, they want to keep him humbled. He'll still be in that top bracket. I think only, off the top of my head, Lewandowski, Arujo, Frankie are the only three players that earn more than 200,000 euros a week. I think Ter Stegen was there, but then last summer he renewed his contract to extend his pay over a period of time. So I think that brought him down to like 175, 150 thousand euros a week. So I think only three players earn more than 200 off the top of my head. Ansu, of course, is close. Kunde and Rafa are close there too. So he will be technically, I think, the third or fourth highest paid player on paper. But the wage, I think, is fairly reasonable for him, around 200,000, which I don't think he should be getting. But if that's what it takes to renew his contract, then unfortunately, so be it. But hopefully, he doesn't let the money and fame get to his head too much. I mean, the fame he's kind of dealt with pretty well over the past year, but maybe when he has more money and he's going to be starting to drive soon.
It's his agent as well. Like his agent is he's Ronaldo's agent. That's a
No, no,
snake.
no. So Jorge Mendes has a phenomenal relationship with Juan Laporta. They've been friends since 2003. He's helped us a lot over the past few years with signing players like Cancelo and Felix on loan.
Cancelo.
He
Yeah.
has a lot of B team players as his agents as well, like Danny Garcia. He had Mark Bernal, but Mark Bernal, if you don't know, you saw Romano's tweet, changed his agent today actually. So in kind of in favor for him, Jorge Mendes and Jordan Laporta would do each other favor. We get good deals and good renewals. He gets young talents that come through as his clients. So we've always had a great relationship with him, and of course Fini Zahavi as well, who's the agent of Lewandowski and Flick, and also Flick's gonna get a new
And Neymar.
contract, and Neymar too. Yeah, so that's why Joan Laporta is the GOAT, man. But yeah, again, I think we've covered everything. If you want to add
Yes, sir.
anything, if not, we can end it here. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below. Check out PG Inch channel as well. Link is in the description. Of course, we'll be back next week on his channel with, of course, UCF semifinals booked in place, and of course, a week away from the Copa del Rey final. So, thank you all for joining. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys on the next